Hi everyone, I'm Kevin Patrick. Thanks for joining me for Season 1, Episode 12 of Patrick's Poor Man's Guide. This podcast is for people who want to understand local government better. It's not just for Democrats or Republicans, it's for everyone, because responsible government starts with informed people like you. Today, we are talking about policy versus management and staying in your lane and why it matters more than most people realize. Before we get started, if you find this podcast useful, you can support our work by subscribing wherever you're listening and by sharing it with someone who's involved in their community or thinking about getting involved. You can also find extended episodes and practical resources on my Substack at Poor Man's Publishing Co. and at poormanspublishing.com. If you'd like to support this work, subscriptions start at just a few dollars a month and they help keep these conversations going. Thanks for listening, and here's why it matters. In the last episode, we talked about executive session, why it exists, what it protects, and what it can't be used for. Today we're stepping back to look at one of the most important and most misunderstood lines in local government. The line between policy and management. Policy is about direction, values, and rules. Management is about execution, implementation, and day-to-day operations. Both matter, but they're not the same. Boards and councils govern. They set policy. They establish priorities, and they define boundaries. Staff manage. They carry out policy. They run operations, and they make the system work between meetings. When that line is clear, government functions smoothly. When it blurs, tension builds quickly. This episode is about understanding that division. Not to elevate one role over the other, and not to oversimplify, but to explain why staying in your lane isn't about control. It's about effectiveness. In the extended episode, we'll slow this down and talk about how this line gets crossed in real life, why it usually comes from good intentions, and how crossing it often creates more problems than it solves. This is Patrick's Poor Man's Guide, Local Government in Plain English. Be sure to tune in next week as we discuss how local government is actually funded. This is Patrick's Poor Man's Guide, a podcast for people who want to understand local government better, not as Democrats or Republicans, but as informed residents, because responsible government isn't partisan, it's necessary. Thanks for listening.